Okay, welcome back to the How to Play Each Class mini-series I'm doing for Battlefield 1 for new players who've yet to try and figure out how to play each class or how to effectively use each class, at least in my eyes. Today's episode, or today's lesson, children rather, concerns the support class. Now, the support class, for me, is one of the most diverse classes, to be honest, but it's also one of the most surprising classes when you learn how to play it correctly. It's a sort of shock to the system in terms of actually having to learn how to effectively play the class, how to effectively use the weapons, how to effectively support your teammates, how to be a good support player. And we're not going to waste any time, we're actually going to get straight into it. Now, the first lesson, or the first tip I could rather give any new support player is about how to use your primary weapon. Now, usually you find that new players in FPS games, whenever they pick up like a full auto weapon like a submachine gun or an LMG, or if it's a modern day shooter like an assault rifle, they just go balls to the walls crazy and spray that gun down, aka known as spraying and praying. Usually in Battlefield with most classes and in most other FPS games, this is fairly discouraged. You shouldn't just be running around like an idiot spraying and praying. You shouldn't just be going around full autoing your gun, you need to learn how to effectively use your shots. Now, in terms of support in nearly all Battlefield games that I couldn't think of, at least even going back to say Battlefield 2, because I've just re-downloaded now to my PC and been playing small doses of that. The best way to play support is to full auto this. And now what do I mean by full auto? I mean don't burst fire your shots. Don't tap the trigger trying to think that's more accurate. If you gain eyes on a target, just like that situation right there, you gain eyes on a target, you just hold down the fire button till either your clip is empty, your target's in cover, or you've killed the dude. Same again. And what actually happens is, the longer you hold the trigger, the more accurate your LMG becomes. It's a weird mechanic which at first, even I, when transitioning to new Battlefield games, I still can't get my head around when going into a new Battlefield game or when picking up support after not playing it for a long time. Which is one of those things you gotta keep reminding yourself of. An LMG in Battlefield gets more accurate the longer you hold down the trigger. I'm not even going to bother to try to explain because I myself can only think of theories as to try and explain this phenomena. But yes, LMGs, they become more accurate the longer you hold down the trigger, so you just gotta make sure you target, whether they're at range or not, you just gotta make sure you keep your sights on the target but you full auto it. Now, speaking of the weapon itself, in the previous episode I talked about sniper rifles having what's called a sweet spot. Now obviously this rule doesn't apply to LMGs, but LMGs, their best distance is medium range. Short range they can do the work, but obviously you're left with less reaction time, and if you decide to aim down sight, as I often do, you're moving, or the speed at which you can look about significantly decreases. So I'd advise you use a support class for medium range engagements. Try and stay at a good range of targets. Now, long range, I've got into quite a few long range engagements with support, and that's the one time I'd actually recommend you burst fire your shots, but don't just sort of burst after 3 bullets or whatever. Like, fire for a bit, stop, fire for a bit more, stop, fire for a bit, and usually with the bar, which I very much have come to adopt as the gun I go to for the support class. Given the power of the gun, the target will be dropped instantly. Well, not so much instantly, but the target will go down. But yes, with support class, I'd recommend you try and get your targets into medium range at you. That's the best way you're going to take them down. Or if you want to go in close range, hip fire. Go for the spray and pray tactic. If you really want to get in close to your opponents, like say if you want to go in and capture a flag, capture a point, or defend a flag, defend a point, or if you're in a if you're in a tight situational map, like say Amiens in the alleyways, and you need to get in close to your enemies, then you spray and pray. As for gadgets, support's gadgets are wide and varied. Now, the support class has weapons that can be used at range for both attacking and defending if you're playing stuff like operations or rush, and these would be his air mortars. Now I've seen a lot of support players use the air mortars. In fact, I often tend to see support players rocking the air mortars and the ammo crates. You don't get resupplied mortars from the ammo crates. Now, it's kind of annoying when you have a lot of support players on a support on like a conquest map or an operations map where there's vehicles, or even a rush game where there's vehicles, and yet none of them are using the repair tool to repair damaged tanks. I'd encourage, if you've got a few support players on your team using airburst mortars, or if you're playing in a full squad or a full party, and there's 2 support players in the squad, and you know one of them is using an airburst mortar, select a wrench, because you can still be helpful to your team, because you can help repair a tank. Even if the driver inside is repairing the tank, if you're repairing the tank, you're still getting repair points, and plus you're helping to repair the tank quicker, meaning it can be more effective for longer. Finally, this is a must for me, always carry your ammo crate. Support has traditionally been a role about supplying ammo, and with no sort of ammo perks for increased ammo capacity, a lot of players are going to run out of ammo if they're staying alive for quite long, so you can gain a crap ton of points if you carry an ammo crate. Just place it down every now and again to give them ammo. It will save your team and it will do wonders for you. So, in recap, support how to use the weapon, you full auto it, you hold down the trigger till that clip is empty. Best way to use the LMGs at medium range. Most support players tend to often carry an airburst mortar, which I don't mind, but if you know you've got a few support players using airburst mortars, then you select that repair tool, because you can still be an asset to your team in large scale matches. And finally, carry an ammo crate. Help the team out significantly by resupplying them. Those are my few tips on how to play support class. If you follow them, you may be successful. Who knows, you gotta adapt to your own playstyle. But anyways, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time with how to be a medic.